What are your thoughts on how Erika Kirk has been dealing with this and some of the people that are close to him?
You know, with Erika, a lot of people on the internet have been going into her past, going into her parents. And what I've said to everybody is people that catch my attention are...
You know how Erika Kirk lied about not dating 5 years before she met Charlie Kirk, even though we all know now she was dating a guy named Cabot Phillips who works at Turning Point USA and knew Charlie Kirk back in 2017. Guess who the new guy is going to colleges, talking to kids? You'll never guess.
Ran so deep, they fractured Charlie's own family because, according to people close to the situation, Charlie's parents didn't just question the story, they allegedly demanded answers, going so far as to push for a DNA test, a move that stunned supporters and exposed a growing rift between both sides of the family. And here's where things get even more unsettling. As Erika stepped into leadership at Turning Point USA, observers noticed she was working closely with the same ex, now at the center of these rumors. Business meetings, public appearances, strategic decisions, all of it is happening while questions about loyalty, timelines, and trust refuse to go away. So now the internet is asking what Charlie himself may have been quietly asking before his death. If the affair allegations are true, if his parents were right to push for proof, then what else was happening behind the scenes that the public never saw? Because this isn't just a scandal. It's a mystery with real consequences, and the deeper you look, the more uncomfortable it gets.
So Erika Kirk's ex is what? Taking over for Charlie Kirk? I'm sorry, are we supposed to pretend that this is normal? Cause this is very odd to me.
Even in death, Charlie Kirk's name has been pulled back into a deeply personal storm, one that supporters say he feared long before the internet ever caught on. According to claims now circulating online, a leaked audio recording has reignited long-simmering rumors about Erika Kirk's fidelity. The tape, which remains the subject of intense debate, allegedly captures conversations that suggest Erika may have still been involved with her ex while married to Charlie. What's unsettling to many observers is how closely the timing of those conversations appears to line up with questions Charlie's parents had already been quietly asking for months. And here's the part that makes this story take a sharp turn. Sources claim Charlie didn't need outside voices to plant doubt. He was already wrestling with it himself. He reportedly sensed inconsistencies, moments that didn't add up, but hesitated to confront them head on. So much so that word on the street is that before his unforeseen death, Charlie was planning to get a divorce from Erika. Now, after Charlie's death, that hesitation vanished. Rather than keeping the matter behind closed doors, Charlie's parents allegedly stepped in and demanded something drastic, a DNA test. Not as a publicity stunt, but as a last attempt to bring clarity to suspicions that had been haunting the family long before any tape surfaced. Now, the focus has shifted from a single alleged affair to something much bigger. If these claims hold weight, people are asking what else may have been hidden, and whether the truth Charlie struggled with privately is only now beginning to surface. Now, this is the moment where the story stops feeling messy and starts feeling outright unreal. Because for years, Erika Kirk carefully presented herself as the opposite of scandal. In interviews, on stage, and in faith-centered spaces, she framed her past as clean, disciplined, and untouched by the kind of lifestyle she warned others against. She repeatedly emphasized that before Charlie, there was no dating, no partying, no wandering years, only devotion, restraint, and family values. In one widely shared CBS town hall appearance, she went out of her way to say she hadn't dated anyone for years before meeting Charlie, drawing a clear line between herself and other women. But behind the scenes, sources say Charlie was never fully convinced. He reportedly noticed small cracks in her story, timelines that shifted, details that changed depending on who was listening, nothing he could point to publicly, nothing solid enough to confront, just a lingering sense that the version of Erika the world was being shown wasn't the full picture. That changed when things began resurfacing. Images allegedly leaked by Erika's ex began circulating, placing her in New York during a period she had described as quiet and solitary. The photos, according to those discussing them, depict a lifestyle far removed from the one she later described: single, social, and active. Then came renewed attention to her brief appearance on Bravo's Summer House Season 3, filmed in August 2018, where she was seen drinking, partying, and openly socializing on camera. On their own, none of these details would be shocking, but together they raise an uncomfortable question that refuses to go away. If there was nothing to hide, why deny it so forcefully? Why rewrite the past instead of simply owning it? As these contradictions piled up, people close to Charlie began to say what he never said out loud, that his doubts weren't paranoia, they were pattern recognition. And what once looked like baseless suspicion is now, in the eyes of many, starting to look like something else entirely. Because when a carefully curated image starts to crack, it's not the party photos that unsettle people most, it's the realization that the story may have been constructed from the very beginning. Before Charlie ever entered the picture, there were already chapters of Erika's life that many say don't fit the version of events she later presented. Publicly available interviews and old media clips paint a very different backdrop. In one Arizona Foothills magazine feature, Erika openly spoke about a relationship with professional baseball player Tyler "JT" Massey, describing him at the time as her favorite human, best friend, and incredible boyfriend. Photos from that era circulated widely, some of them reading less like casual snapshots and more like engagement-style moments, fueling speculation about just how serious that relationship really was. Then there's a piece of footage that online investigators keep coming back to, a 2015 Trump rally clip. In it, Erika is seen standing beside a man and a young girl. Internet sleuths claim the man resembles JT, and standing nearby is Tyler Bowyer, the same Tyler Bowyer who would later introduce Erika to Charlie and who now holds a powerful leadership role inside Turning Point USA. To critics, this moment suggests Erika wasn't an outsider to political power circles at all, but was already moving comfortably within them years before Charlie. And that's where the questions really start to swirl. Did Erika genuinely leave her past behind, or did she simply repackage it? Some argue that her later transformation into a soft-spoken, deeply religious woman ready for marriage wasn't a spiritual awakening, but a strategic pivot, a rebrand timed perfectly for a new chapter, one that led straight into the heart of conservative influence and power. In this framing, Charlie wasn't a random love story, but the next step in a carefully unfolding trajectory. None of this proves intent. None of it confirms motive. But taken together, the relationships, the political proximity, the familiar faces showing up again and again, it has led many online to wonder whether Erika's rise alongside Charlie was accidental or meticulously aligned. And once that question is asked, it's almost impossible to unask it. What makes this story even more complicated is how it collides with the wider power struggles inside conservative media and politics. Names that were already quietly circling Charlie Kirk's world suddenly feel a lot less distant. Online commentators have pointed to connections involving figures tied to the Daily Wire, including senior editors working under Ben Shapiro, a longtime rival of Charlie's behind the scenes. Their disagreements over funding, influence, and foreign policy sponsorships had already created tension long before Charlie's death. Now, those same relationships are being re-examined through an entirely different lens, adding another layer of intrigue to an already volatile situation. Against that backdrop, the leaked audio, along with what supporters describe as corroborating timelines, has completely fractured the image Erika Kirk once projected to the public and to Charlie himself. An image built on purity, transparency, and moral certainty is now being openly questioned. The fact that Charlie's own parents allegedly stepped in and demanded a DNA test has only intensified speculation, signaling that this wasn't treated as idle gossip inside the family, but as something serious enough to warrant drastic measures. What was once a private marital issue has now spilt into the public arena, blurring the line between personal betrayal and political consequence. Every revelation seems to raise more questions than answers. Was Charlie misled about who Erika really was? Were personal relationships entangled with ambition and influence? And how much of what the public believed was carefully curated rather than authentic? As this story continues to unfold, it's no longer just about an alleged affair or a fractured family. It's about trust, power, and the uneasy intersection where private lives collide with political empires. Whatever the truth ultimately turns out to be, one thing is clear. The narrative surrounding the Kirk family has shifted, and it may never fully return to what it once was.